Awesome. So welcome to this presentation on the head center, which is a pressure center. This is mental pressure, the pressure to think. And this comes in through the top of the head, and it can be experienced as inspiration. It can be experienced as confusion, wanting to know answers. 71% of the population has this center open or undefined. So that's a lot of people. I mean, that means only 30%, 3 of 10, have this center defined. So most of us are experiencing either no pressure to think or amplified pressure to think. And I would say probably most of the time, people that have this center undefined are experiencing amplified pressure to think. So in today's presentation, we're going to look at what is the healthy and unhealthy expression of this center look like if you have it undefined. And also, what does the healthy and unhealthy expression of this center look like if you have it defined? So there's, really 4 quadrants here. There's defined and healthy, defined and unhealthy, undefined and healthy, undefined and unhealthy. And that's what you can start to become aware of when you meet people. It's like, oh, this person's, got that head center defined. They seem healthy with it. Or, oh, this person has that center defined and they're expressing some of the unhealthy characteristics. Okay, so you have this center undefined. We're going to look at the undefined first. So if you have this center undefined, you can find that your mind is amplifying a pressure to figure something out, to answer a question. And, the question is, who put that question in your head? And does it really matter to you? And, if you really get honest with yourself, chances are most of the time it actually doesn't matter to you and has very little to do with the correct use of your own life force. So here, the person with the defined head is like, what do you think about this election? And a great answer for you if you have the undefined or open head center is, I don't know. And I don't care. I don't know and I don't care. Those are some good words for you if you have that center undefined. I don't know and I don't care. What do you think about that? I don't think about that. I don't think about that unless you make me think about that. I had an experience of this center. I have an undefined head, and oftentimes this center goes along with the next center down, which is the ajna, which is how you think, how you conceptualize. So I got a Voxer message. Voxer is just an app on your phone that you can get little walkie-talkie messages. I got a message from my friend who has a defined head and ajna. So she's always thinking about things and thinking about how does it work and questioning and conceptualizing and coming up with theories and all this. That's natural for her. And I had just woken up, listened to this message. It was a question about something or other. I don't remember. And then I proceeded to think about this nonstop for the next hour of my life. I spent thinking about something with absolutely no relevance to me, to my well-being, to anything to do with my trajectory in life, completely consuming me. And I just thought, wow, this is a perfect example of the open head. It's like pressure to think. And I'm thinking about something that is complete crap, that really doesn't matter at all. And finally, I was able to let it go, which was such a blessing. And to see it for what it was. But that's really the trick here, is to notice how much you're just experiencing amplified thinking. And that it's really not at all relevant to you at all, and just let it go. Yeah, and it's kind of cool to have an open head because you're just a flow. Like, you're in a way an airhead. It's like things can just come in and leave, and you can watch them, and you cannot necessarily feel like you have to know an answer or figure something out. And this is my favorite image for the open head. Remember, the undefined centers are things that we think we should have defined. So when someone asks you a question, there will be a pressure that you feel to know the answer or to figure out the answer. Even if someone's just talking and they are just saying a question, they don't even want you to answer it. With the open head, you'll feel pressure to answer someone else's question. You'll feel pressure to know the answer. I've seen this a lot with human design and people learning human design. It's like, I gotta figure this out. I gotta know the answer. I can't wait. That's amplified pressure to know. And this image is just so beautiful because it's like the epitome of the healthy, undefined head, which is just this flow, and there's no angst in it. There's just movement and allowing, and no grasping or needing to have an answer. All right, so the open head center. Healthy. Explores ideas and inspiration from different sources. Open to the wonder of the unknown. And to certainty. I wonder if that's meant to say uncertainty. That makes more sense to me. Doesn't act on mental pressure. Yeah, that's a key one. It's like, this is just to notice the mental pressure, but not do things based on it. And, you know, most of you are teachers. So this is, you know, you're going to be in situations where people want to know an answer, or they're asking you things. If you have the open head, and you're going to feel like you have to know the answer, or you have to answer it for them. And to me, it's been just so liberating to be like, oh yeah, I don't, you know, I'm following my strategy and authority. It's like, well, actually, I don't really feel like directing my energy towards answering that right now. Or it doesn't feel like the right use of our time right now to be going in that direction. So this is a really powerful thing, is not to be under the grips and spell of having to use your head in certain situations where it's not really your gig. Does not take on pressures of other people's needs for answers. Uses mind as outer authority for others. So what that means is, outer authority is another human design lingo thing, which is just when you have an idea, or you have a story, or you have a concept that you think might be of service to someone, and you offer it to them. So giving advice or consultation when asked, that you could be potentially able to use your head to serve other people in certain situations. Enjoys the pressure to know without becoming identified with it. You know, having an open head, there's moments where you'll be like, I don't need to know anything. And you can literally have like a blank mind where you can meditate and have nothing going on there. But you can also have the excitement and fuel for knowing. And this is where, you know, a lot of great intellectuals have the open head and open ajna, because they're just wanting to know. They're very curious. And that's a beautiful thing, to have that insatiable curiosity and desire to know, and just not getting lost in it, not going overboard with it. Okay, the unhealthy expression of this easily becomes lost or overwhelmed by doubt and confusion. Tries to resolve other people's questions by taking on the worries of others. Tries to release mental pressure through action. Oh my goodness, yes. Loses focus, becomes scattered. Great. Okay, let's look at the healthy expression of the, or the defined head center. Healthy and unhealthy. Okay, the unhealthy defined head center. So again, defined head center, what that means, consistent fuel for thinking, consistent pressure to think. These people have every day pressure to think, and that amount of pressure is consistent. So they're thinkers. They are people who think, and they have a pace of that and a pressure, a fuel that's ongoing. The unhealthy defined center drives itself or others crazy by trying to understand its own life and pressuring others to conceptualize like they do. If you have a defined head center, first of all, understand that you are one, like 70% of other people are going to be taking in your pressure to think and amplifying it. So just because you are thinking doesn't mean other people need to be thinking. So the unhealthy is like pressuring other people to think as much as you do, or even to think anything. They don't need to be thinking necessarily. So yeah, just respect that in other people. Yeah, these people are idea people. They are the people that actually have insight and inspiration and ideas to share. And that's a gift. So, you know, those of us that have the head center undefined, you know, we can take in the ideas of those that have that center defined, and we can begin to discern, oh wow, like what a great inspiring new way of thinking, or oh, that seems a little funky to me. Whereas a person with this head center defined, which necessarily means they would have the ajna defined, which is how they think. This person is a thinker. They're someone who is here to share with us new ideas, and that's a gift. It's a gift that they have to share. And again, sharing their ideas and their thinking through strategy and authority. It's not just always sharing their thoughts, but sharing them when, if you're a generator, when you're waiting to respond and there's something to respond to, then you're sharing. Yeah, so a person that has a defined center, it's very natural for them to be in always a process of going through confusion and not knowing and not understanding and gathering all the information into doubt, doubting what they think, and then into clarity. And then, the whole thing starts over. That's just how it works. Like, that's how conceptualizing happens. So letting that be okay, that's just really a part of your functioning in the world, is that you're doing that. And that you're not in control of that process, that you're just a participant in the process. And you can't make clarity come, but you can participate in the process of moving from doubt and confusion into clarity. Very inspiring, these people, and that, thinking and how they think. Another thing is, you're never going to change the mind of someone that has a defined head and ajna. Like, they just think the way they think. And that to me has been really valuable to know, because then I can just listen and learn their perspective and not ever try to change the way they think, and to understand they don't really have a versatility about how they think the way that someone that has a undefined head and ajna would, because they're fixed. Whereas those of us that have an ajna and a head that are undefined, we can think in every single way that exists. We're not defined, we're not consistent. Yeah, it turns mental pressure in on themselves, causing them to be driven into deep anxiety, self-doubt, or depression. Yeah, I've seen this is like a challenge with a defined head and ajna, is that there's no reprieve from the thinking. It's always going. So, that can drive you crazy. So, becoming productive with your thinking is nice. Like, I've seen people, really just use the thinking to gather insight and inspiration, that's really here to be shared with others. That's the benefit of the thinking. It's not just for you, it's for when appropriate to be sharing it. Getting lost in mental decisions, that's a big thing for really all of us, but with the head and ajna defined, it's challenging because it's always so active and loud. It can be really loud. So watch yourself making mental decisions, and then again, come back to your strategy and authority, which is about, listening to your body. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So that is the head center. Thank you.